Good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of Market Check, brought to you by BB. There is no second best daily YouTube live stream to talk about markets. Welcome back, guys. Happy Friday. I'll spare you the joke about how we've come into the end of another week, but rest assured, we're going to have a great show for you here today, talking about all things markets. I mean, crypto, altcoins showing lots of strength. Equities wanting to sell off, it seems, into the weekend. Why? Seemingly another line of tariffs. We'll discuss whether or not we think that matters for risk asset pricing here over the next few weeks. But first, I'm Tommy. You guys also know me as Snorlax. I'm joined by Tucker and Max. Welcome. Before we can get too deep into the conversation, right, talking about the tariffs on Europe, the equity market sell-off, and of course, I mean, I would be remiss if I didn't, notice this very strong altcoin buyback that we've already seen. Is it a bearish retest before lower pricing, or is it a sign of potentially a strong recovery weekend for altcoins? I'm going to ask if you guys can hit the like button for us, right? Let's run the like button up on Friday. We really have not been pressing you guys to do that too often. I think we looked at soybeans once this week. That was probably the first time, though, that we've looked at soybeans in, weeks, honestly. So you guys have had it really good. I'd love if you could have that translate back into the like button today. I know it's Friday, so it might be a little bit of a lighter crowd, but even still, if you guys could do your part, we would be very, very appreciative. But yeah, let's get into the markets, because that is ultimately much more interesting than the like button and, of course, soybeans. But yeah, I mean, I think overnight, Trump announced that they're going to put more tariffs on Europe. The market responded, or rather the VIX responded by, having this spike, especially I think like the Euro VIX. I read that on X somewhere. It's not something I've ever charted, but I guess the Euro VIX or the Euro Stocks VIX gave a huge spike. So I mean, we kind of talked about the possibility of, just because the VIX was so beaten down, the possibility of some sort of mechanical response higher at some point here into the month of May or June. I'll be honest, I don't really think the tariffs are that important, or rather the announcement of tariffs are that important at this point in time. So I kind of think that I'm going to have to play the role of the Chud Jack here. I kind of think nothing is going to happen when we resolve next week. And I think I'm leaning towards the fact that altcoins buyback this morning is more or less, kind of communicating that, right? I was just kind of looking at ETH before the show went live. I think ETH specifically is probably just a little bit behind Bitcoin. And what has Bitcoin been doing for the last week and a half? Well, Bitcoin's been giving us these pumps, this insane strength. And then at the same time, through that strength, it's been giving us these weird BARTs, almost like somebody is stair-stepping price up, sucking in shorts, and then just kind of mechanically walking up price. I kind of feel like they're about to do the same thing with ETH. So yeah, we'll see what we get this weekend, next week. But that's kind of how I'm, seeing the slate as of this morning. But how are we doing, guys? What are we seeing in the markets? What do we think of the European tariffs, of course? And, what are our thoughts on some of the buybacks we've already seen this morning?
I mean, European tariffs, not the greatest news this morning. We could have done better than that, probably. But I don't think it's the end of the world. I think it's another thing, another catalyst in the waiting, right? Like, when that catalyst is now not a thing, when that goes away, we're probably going to pump because of it, right? Just like all the other tariffs. I don't know. I think that, equities look fine, crypto looks strong, right? Nothing too crazy. We knew we'd probably pull back after the Trump dinner a little bit. He was either going to announce something crazy bullish, or we were going to get a little pullback, right? So there was kind of no in between. This isn't that wild, I mean, 4%, not a big deal for Bitcoin, but I mean, I still think we're just going to grind higher. I don't think we give like a 20% pullback from right here, like that would be actually really, really bad. I mean, even like a 10 or 15% pullback.
It'd be a bad place to do it from. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, it would be.
We need to do that from higher.
Yeah, you'd put all these guys underwater. Like, that would not be good. So you need to do it from like 120, 130, something like that. But yeah, guys, I think we look pretty solid still. Same as yesterday. But
I mean, I think it's kind of behaviorally the exact same thing Bitcoin's been doing. Right? We were just kind of breaking out last night. So I think it's easy to interpret it as a failed breakout, when in reality, we look at Bitcoin's lower time frame price action. It's kind of been doing this exact same thing now for about a week and a half.
Yeah. I mean, it's just this grind up, and then it makes it look like, oh, it's over, oh, it's over here, it's over. And then we just keep doing this. Yeah.
Yeah, I think, Tommy, you nailed it, that like what we're seeing right now, ignoring all of the news, is relatively characteristic of this entire previous 3-week stretch that we've been in, where we move up, we take out some local highs, we get a little shakeout. Everybody who's sidelined and pissed off about how high prices are comes out and celebrates a micro drop. And then we ultimately just keep chopping into new highs and highs and highs. And then, eventually we're going to get that confirmation of like, hey, this is not a deviation of the previous high. We are breaking out. We are in price discovery. Alts are going to get that all clear. I spent a lot of time this morning talking with our community pre-market about how, alts are still just stuck, pinned, waiting for that Bitcoin confirmation. And I think, the confluence that I'm seeing across the board that's indicating that alts are about to steal the show is, one, Bitcoin's in price discovery. I mean, I know we had a micro drop this morning and everyone's freaking out. But to me, I look at something like others dominance locally. Others dominance looks like it's at range low curling higher. Bitcoin dominance to me on like the 12-hour and daily time frame, with a trend line going all the way back to the beginning of December, looks to me like it's coming in for a bearish retest, right? So I understand like we could stab a little higher on something like Bitcoin dominance, which wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, but you might need to zoom in a little bit there, Tucker. Just maybe like the daily or something. I mean, even yeah, like the daily. Draw a trend line from that low, the December low, all the way through. I mean, I could see us moving a little higher, but given what I'm seeing with Bitcoin dominance, well, I would.
There you go. There it is.
Yeah, I would draw the trend line like something like that.
Yeah.
I think there's a chance this is a bearish retest. So yeah, I mean, look, I understand why people are, like expecting lower, but at the same time, I don't think we're set up here for a huge pullback. I think there will be a huge pullback, but it's probably going to be after Bitcoin is like, I don't know, minimum 20% higher than here, truthfully. I think we're probably going to move up. I mean, that chart to me, others dominance looks like it wants higher, in my opinion. We can debate where that might go, but like just generally speaking, I think that this micro dump this morning on a Friday is no cause for concern. And I think that it's just a matter of time before Bitcoin gives that, all-time high break confirmation, which, we hit a new all-time high, but I wouldn't say we have like definitive confirmation. There's still that argument of, oh, it was a sweep, it's about to be a swing fail, we're about to drop. I don't know if I see that right now. But I mean, here's the thing: is like the people that are, talking about this drop. It's like it was basically just a drop to the previous all-time high. It was just a retest locally of like the previous all-time high. And the people that are like celebrating it, are getting all excited about it. They're never going to buy any dip. They're just going to keep freaking out on every micro drop that we have all the way to fresh highs, day after day, week after week. Like we're in a high time frame structural uptrend. Look at the weekly candle here. If we can stick this landing, you probably see some fireworks as soon as next week. So I think it's premature to be like freaking out about this micro drop. I do. I think it's I think it's premature to be freaking out about it. That doesn't mean that people aren't getting frothy into new highs, right? But like Tommy said, I think the price action we're seeing right now is very characteristic of what we've been seeing the past few weeks. Nothing seems different to me. Nothing.
I mean,
Honestly, I
what swing
think
fail are we talking about? Like, I don't even see a swing fail. Like on what time? Like, I
No,
don't even
you have to drink a bunch of alcohol and then squint your eyes, and then you might see it.
like, dude,
But
we already closed the weekly. You know, we already closed like a bunch. Like, I don't even know what. You know,
I
I don't
think
even.
if you looked at the monthly chart, then
Okay, yeah,
maybe
yeah. I mean, if you
but
close
not
below,
even, but it would be like if you drew it from the wick high right
this is
there
the
on
only
the
one.
monthly time frame.
This is the only one I could see is if you like drop back below 104 by end of week, then I would see it.
It's
But
premature, bro. It's
it's
premature. You got to
yeah,
give this a chance to let it stick. You know,
yeah, yeah. I think that's super premature. Sorry,
there's
Tommy.
always a chance it doesn't, and I guess we could see some crazy sell off. Like we have a holiday weekend. Markets are closed Monday, if I'm not mistaken.
oh,
Yeah.
do
There's
we?
all Yeah, I'm pretty sure markets are closed Monday.
Yeah,
So there is a potential setup for some buffoonery over the weekend. We'll see. But I look at this and I say, like, how could you look at this chart and be that bearish this chart right here? I think it's premature. I think if you are going to be bearish, you're probably going to see Bitcoin lose like, 106 and like refuse to get sucked right back up, which would not be characteristic of the price action we've seen over the past few weeks. And then we can start having that discussion. But it's like right here, right now, we haven't been presented with that data yet. We haven't been presented with those candles that are risk off. This is not a risk off chart here. This is like, oh, we came back in to fill in a major inefficiency from November, and we're starting to V recover off that low. And we had a micro dump this morning off of some news that I think is kind of inconsequential, personally.
yeah. I don't think it's anything to freak out about here. I mean, we've had plenty of candles that look like that in this little run up too. So
I think it's
Tommy,
easy
you were going to say
to,
something. Oh,
you
sorry.
know,
Go ahead.
oh yeah. No, I was just gonna say that it's easy to, like I said, at the beginning, we saw another
Uh-oh.
sweep. I guess you could call it a sweep. Am I rugging?
a little bit.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
bet my entire net worth that you did not order Starlink yesterday. Just to
I have
gut
the
feeling.
page pulled up actually on my browser right now, Max. So
You had it
Not-
pulled up yesterday.
Not good enough
Yeah.
today,
no, I will
Tommy.
get Starlink.
Today.
I'll do it literally after we hop off market check. How about
Max,
that?
we're gonna have to get it for him, bro. We'll
No, I got it. I got it. Don't worry.
The problem with Tommy is he's too in the order books, man. He gets distracted. He has a task. Yesterday after market check, I said, Tommy, this is a direct order. You are to take the business card and purchase a Starlink immediately. I said, all right, I'll do it. I'll do it. And then he probably got lost in the order book and he just forgot to do it. But we're doing that together after the show. Tommy's internet is going to be the fastest internet on the team very soon. As soon as he gets Starlink, it's going to be quick.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to do it literally as we speak. How about that?
Bang. All right, let's go.
No, but I was just going to say, I think it's easy to like look at the move the drop that we've had, right? From a huge level of supply for both Bitcoin and ETH and get super, super nervous, right? But I agree with you, Max. Like, I don't think the tariff news is consequential, really. I mean, maybe it will be down the line, but tariffs haven't been moving the market for months. And I don't think that those headlines are going to be the thing that, causes some aggressive reversal for risk assets. Maybe we go back down and we retest the low again that we set this morning, but I can't say I'd really be expecting too much more downside than that. I look across the board, specifically at like Sol memes that look, I think, just phenomenal and ready to break out, right? Like Fartcoin retested its breakout on a technical level, and again, might come back down because there's so much realized volatility on these assets for, maybe another like 5 or 6%, but not from like this morning's low, but like from current prices. But I do think that, paws are being shown, hands are being shown, whatever you want to call it. We're seeing, I think, a lot of strength from certain altcoins.
Yeah, Farcoin's been really strong. And actually, Tucker, could you do me a favor and just go back to Bitcoin for 1 second? Because I want to talk about this dynamic of the news affecting price. Whoa, that's a chart.
A lot came in. Yeah.
Yeah, Tucker's locked in. Okay.
There we go.
Do you remember that Sunday when we got the strategic digital asset news tweet and we had that mega squeeze?
Boom.
Remember that candle, right? Everybody remembers it. Okay. News obviously can affect price, but very, 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 very few bits of news can actually shift your trend. Okay. So for a prime example is that Sunday sell-off. When we had that news, the strategic digital asset news, we pump back up, retest supply, continue our trend, which we were inevitably on anyways, which was going to be a little bit lower. Okay. Exciting news, but not enough to shift your trend. These news catalysts serve as very kind of local manipulations. Okay. You get a headline, things drop or things pump, and then you kind of always end up where you're going to be. That has a lot more to do with positioning skew than it does, oh, Europe is getting, railed by Trump's tariffs. Time to just like give up on the bull market. No, it has a lot more to do with technical structure, which is positioning based, right? It's like looking at this right here, I say we're in a high time frame structured uptrend, crushing levels right now. Bitcoin looks great. Altcoins look ready to go, just waiting on that all clear from Bitcoin. The tariff news that we saw this morning will serve as nothing more than a local manipulation within a much larger high time frame uptrend. I mean, looking at the daily, 2-day, 3-day, weekly plus candles, you won't even see what happened this morning on those candles. It's a very local scalper manipulation, which I understand is tradable if you're doing that on the low time frames. But this idea of somehow like we're cooked up here at the highs because we had some, in my view, like inconsequential news regarding tariffs this morning, it's not enough to shift your trend. Just like the strategic digital asset news pump wasn't enough to shift your downtrend to the upside. It has everything to do with positioning. And these news events serve as local manipulations within a much larger trend. What we saw this morning is not enough to cancel what's about to come, in my view. Not even close.
Yeah, and I think, just looking at kind of some open interest data right now, whether it resolves the same, it looks the same as pretty much every other drop that we've had where, whoever is stair-stepping the market higher, whenever they want it to go lower, they just start closing longs and then they start putting them back on when they want to push us back up. So I do think there's some form of invisible hand in the market right now, and we are kind of more or less like at their mercy. But I will say I think that they are ultimately stair-stepping price up for a breakout, unless they're just going to keep doing something akin to, vertical accumulation that we saw in like October and November of 2023. I'm sure you guys remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this looks super similar, like you just talked about, Tommy. I know this isn't the best open interest viewer, but I mean, that looks super similar. They put this big green candle underwater and then they just walk it back up.
And there's actually a fractal that I think this kind of reminds me of if we are doing some form of vertical accumulation. Could you scroll way back? You could stay on the 4-hour time frame or something, just so we can get some more info. Scroll way back for me, Tucker. Keep going. I'll tell you when to stop. Keep going. Right there. Yeah. Right in there. That kind of walk up type of thing. It won't look exactly the same, but it does feel somewhat familiar. Where you had, a big mark up, and then you keep just seeing like, a big push up into the highs, OI rinse, push up into the high, OI rinse, push up into the high, OI rinse, and then you finally kind of blast off from that level. I could see something like this also.
Yeah, I mean, this is This does look very, very similar, actually. Let me just put it next to it. I mean, this is what I think of when I think of vertical accumulation. Like, this is, you know, it to a T.
Yeah. Where everybody wants those lows to get rated, and then they just don't quite have the oomph to do it, you know?
They just barely get front run where it's, I mean, it's not fun PA to trade, right? Like, look at this. You just doing this, and it's
Nightmare. Well, I mean, if you're like scalping, maybe you're having fun, but
yeah, I mean, just not
it
fun,
reminds me kind of that, right? Of course, it's not going to be exactly the same, but like,
you know, somewhat similar.
yeah.
God, I hope it doesn't end up doing that.
Why not, Tommy?
That's like the worst price
way.
action ever.
I know. I mean, you could argue we've already been doing it, kind of. So I don't know how long that would last, but yeah.
No, I think like a lot of soul beams across the board. And I mean, just generally speaking, memes look ready for their next leg up. So if we do get cooperation from Bitcoin, from ETH, from Sol here over the weekend, I actually think you'll probably see those begin within the next few days.
Bullish Memorial Day weekend, Tommy.
That'd be cool.
Be very cool.
I mean, Pepe's got good buyback this morning.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you just like zoom out on it, looks like it's kind of just I mean, it's like Bitcoin and ETH, right? They're grinding into a high time frame resistance. I kind of think what you're going to end up seeing, because it's kind of such an obvious resistance, that we're going to bust through it and then retest it from higher on some coins, right? I mean, some might just like not return to these prices at all, but speaking on majors, I kind of think we're going to get some breakout here, because you're going, it's kind of like Bitcoin at 90, was it 92 or like 94K? It's like the obvious spot to be shorting the market. So there's going to be a lot of liquidity generated there. If you get a little bit of a push, it's not going to take much. These assets are going to probably explode back to the highs.
Tucker, I think that top horizontal line you have there is a very, very significant level. If this is in fact a reclaim of that all-time high shoulder for Pepe,
Big
which
level.
we'll find out soon if it is. I mean, it looks like it's trying to be. Then you can't discount the significance of it. When you can curl back up, 100-something% off the lows and reclaim your all-time high shoulder. We can go back throughout time and look at what happens when something like Bitcoin reclaims its, bull market shoulder, what typically happens after that.
Yeah.
If we can actually stick this landing up here, which, time will tell, that's a pretty big level on Pepe, right? And of course, Pepe is just kind of waiting for like, we need to see that 115 Bitcoin is what we need to see. Like, that's going to be your trigger ultimately. So,
yeah, no, I've had this drawn out for a while. This is, I mean, respected here. We're really trying to bounce off it right now. So, yeah, I mean, next push, if we hold that for Pepe, I'd look at these highs, obviously. Twos, reclaim the two. God, it's been so long since Pepe's had a two handle. That would be lovely.
yeah,
And you kind of are doing this like cup and handle thing, So I think it looks pretty solid here as long as Bitcoin holds up.
I think it will.
Yeah.
No, I kind of feel like we're going to be out of this fairly quickly.
Well, we were talking yesterday about how Bitcoin likes to have 8 green weekly candles and then puts in a red one finally. So this week would be the 7th. Next week would be the 8th. So hopefully stick the landing here this week, little green week, and then next week we get our 8th, and it's a big, and it's a big one.
I think we've only done, have we done 8 once, or was it twice?
No, we've done them more. I think we marked out at like at least 3 yesterday.
I
And this
remember
was-
like 11 straight red weeks on Ethereum in 2022. I
it
remember
is
how
a-
big of a meeting that was.
It is
Yeah,
you're right.
I wouldn't. Here's what I'll say about like consecutive candles, green or red. I wouldn't use them as anything more than just something to casually look out for. I would never like fade a structural uptrend or downtrend just because you've had a certain number of green or red candles in a row. I think it's something to just watch because it's like, you know, you can look at what just happened with ETH. And you know, there were many instances where we're like, we've had so many red daily or 2-day candles in a row, and like it just kept going, right? It just kept going. When the trend is strong, right? But you know, maybe something to look out for.
Yeah, the trend is definitely strong. That's
What time did we dump? Now that I'm thinking about it.
exactly.
It was
Yeah.
pre-market. I woke up at like it was like
6.
8 a.m. EST, so it was like 7. It was just before 7 my time.
This
And I'm laying in
candle.
bed on my phone, very unhealthy habit. And I see all the Trump news hitting the tape, and I'm like, ooh,
My
fun.
goodness.
Great.
Trump.
Basically 3 hours after options expiry. That's interesting.
Was that at 3, Tommy?
That's
Or
like
what?
8 hours past the daily open is usually when we get that Friday expiry. That might have had something to do with it.
Could be. Just
I don't think any news that we're seeing this. I don't think it matters, man. Like, I guess congrats if you caught the micro dump this morning. I don't really know what else to say. It's like it's one of those like missing the forest through the trees kind of thing where you could try to play a few thousand point drop on Bitcoin, or you could try to play a 30,000 point rip. You know, to each their own. I guess there's a lot of different ways to skin the proverbial cat, but
yeah.
I don't know. It just I'd rather bet on some expansion here than trying to like scalp what I think is probably vertical accumulation personally. Not that there's anything wrong with that. It's just really not my thing.
It's kind of a waste of time to be looking for those scalp shorts unless you think it can turn into a swing. But yeah, I mean, I think the trend is pretty strong to the upside right now. And I'm going to keep highlighting the fact that the June option skew is excessively bullish. So by the end of June, we should be trading a good bit higher than current prices.
Well, yeah, and I'd love to hear that too as confluence because I don't really watch crypto options. But it's like the problem with trying to scalp these little moves. I mean, if you can do them and you make money, great. It's very high maintenance, man. It's very time consuming, high maintenance. You know, there is a certain everybody has to decide what's best for themselves. I don't dream of being like glued to my derivatives account on like the 5-minute time frame so that I can catch like a micro dump while Bitcoin's in vertical accumulation on like the brink of a breakout higher. It seems like not the most efficient use of my time personally. But again, there's a lot of different ways to go about it, right? A lot of different ways to make money in this market, but I think your time is probably better served looking for long entries, betting on expansion up here. So if you are like, yeah, we're going to drop down to 105 or something, that's probably where you scoop swing longs rather than being like, oh yeah, I'm going to like short from 111 to like 1085, you know, and then like not play the move higher or something. I don't know. Like just keep the wind at your back, ladies and gentlemen. Keep the wind at your back. You know, that wind is just gusting in your face trying to short right now. It really is.
Yeah. Not worth it for me to try to scalp short that because I think they're probably going to put a lot of like see this little. They're probably going to put all these guys stops. Going to get run before.
I mean, it's done the exact same thing like multiple times.
Exactly.
Already
Like
this week.
this right here, you know. Same thing. Same
It's like,
thing.
oh,
right
we've broken market structure.
Same thing.
You should short.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that probably means that equities will end up doing the same. I do think it's probably a precursor to some strain in equities later this year, but I don't think that we're at that point yet. I think
strain, you say?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're going to have probably strain put on equities through liquidity and also through volatility. But I don't think, for one, that volatility, the VIX market structure is constructive enough to warrant such a large move higher. And I think secondly, USD JPY is probably going to form some form of like prolonged shoulder, around these prices. So it's going to be a few months, I think, before you see those two things happen in unison. And we know how downside is in equities. Like you kind of need everything to align at once, or you're not really going to see any downside at all.
Yeah, I just think Sol looks really good here, man. So we can pull up USD JPY, but I think Sol wants to try at the highs.
I actually think what's going to end up causing a pullback in June, probably like as we turn to the new month, it's going to be treasuries and yields going higher, treasuries going lower, yields going higher. Like I kind of feel like we could see a capitulatory move in that regard. I don't think it's going to like break our trend necessarily, but it'll probably cause a scary pullback.
You think what, like not quite 5, maybe just another like 4.7 something?
I mean, I can see us going to 5. And then I think you'll get the percent put again, probably.
Yeah.
Something akin to what Janet Yellen did with treasuries in October 2023, or they'll try. I don't know if they'll be able to pull it off in the same way, but I think that is going to be what causes our pullback in June. Is that
Tommy? How's your feeling about Janet Yellen going to prison? Are you still bullish on that outcome?
Yes, I've never been more bullish on that outcome.
Oh my god,
she's gonna go to one of those country club prisons though. They got pickleball and projector movie theater screens.
Oh, I know she will.
She's not doing hard time.
No.
Maybe she'll do a little community service and house arrest,
She should probably do hard time, but
I've never seen someone so bearish on Janet Yellen, man. It's hilarious. You made that prediction a long time ago. I think you need to make a market for that, Tommy.
On Poly Market?
Yeah, whoever would, make the market for you. I think we need to get a pool going on Janet Yellen to prison by a certain date. It could be a good payout for you.
I don't know what date that would be. Like it really could be just like, because I don't want to do it by the end of 2025 because I don't think there's any way that happens. But maybe by the end of 2026, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, dude, good payout. I bet someone would give you 100 to 1 on it. Truthfully,
any timeline, Janet goes to prison. I don't know if I'd get 100 to 1, but probably like 20 or 25.
I feel like it'd be more than that. Honestly, I don't think many people have that on their bingo card. So, do we have any astrology coming up, Tommy?
Not really until like the end of July.
That's plenty of time to pump.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's the crime of the week? I guess Sui, right? Because all their stuff got exploited and then they froze the chain.
I thought it was decentralized.
I know.
Let's pull it up.
This is new information to me.
I mean, it actually looks fine, honestly.
You know what coin I'm really surprised the market found again? And we'll talk about it after this, is Mudang. I'm shocked that like of all the Sol coins to bring back, I don't know why that one ended up like 6x.
Oh, it's quite simple. It's a hippo.
It's a baby hippo, Tommy.
You don't get it? You don't You don't understand? It's a hippo.
It's a
It's so obvious, man. It's a hippo.
Yeah, I mean, I saw Raoul Pal has like 70% of his portfolio in Sui. It's probably a good reason to stay away from it.
Dude, I was told 40,000 ETH last cycle. What the fuck happened?
Dude, Sui doesn't look that bad, man, honestly.
Could be good FUD to buy. I mean, look, here's the thing: is nobody cares about decentralization anymore, man. Nobody. That was like the story of last cycle. Nobody cares about it anymore. Who cares that they they spoke with validators to like not interact with certain wallets or whatever the fuck they did. I don't even know what they did. No one cares, man. Nobody cares. All they want is like, ooh, fast transactions and shitcoining. That's all they want. Fast, cheap shitcoin. That's it. That's the trifecta of glory for these new L1s. Nobody cares if it's decentralized. Nobody cares about proof of work over proof of stake anymore. I kind of miss the days when they did, but it's like it's not a reason to be bearish that like they're able to do that, you know. We all kind of knew that in order for like blockchains to become more mainstream, they were going to have to become more centralized, right?
Mm-hmm.
It just kind of is what it is. It's like, remember when Hyperliquid like was being jellied or whatever, and then they just delisted it, and then everyone
when
the hacker exploited that it's not actually decentralized, and then it's just like nobody cared, and everybody still bought hype, and now it's at new highs. It's like nobody cares about decentralization anymore. I'm not saying it's not important. I'm just saying nobody actually really cares, it seems.
Well, dude, do you remember when they just turned Solana off? Like,
yeah, dude, last cycle was like 2 or 3 times at least that I can think of where they literally just like
switch,
chain was down, they just flipped the switch. Nobody cared. Sol rallied from to like $200. It was like the leader of the bull market in the first phase here.
Yeah.
You know, and then in the early days, nobody likes to talk about it. Remember when ETH had all those problems?
Yeah,
and they
I was
rolled
about
back
to say,
the chain. They pretty sure
study
they
the
rolled
origins
back
of Ethereum Classic.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, you know, it's almost like a rite of passage that these L1s just like show their true colors, get hacked, or roll back the chain, or like freeze addresses, and then everyone FUDs it for like 2 weeks, and then they forget because some other crime happens, and then everybody's back onto it. It doesn't matter. I'm not like I'm not giving a bull case for Sui. I don't own any Sui. I don't care about Sui. I'm just pointing out that nobody actually really cares. They're pretending like they care right now, but nobody actually cares.
No.
For me, it's kind of like disappointed but not surprised. That's kind of how I view it.
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
Yeah.
Maybe that's like the rite of passage for every L1 is they need something like centralized to happen. I don't know. Maybe it's
it is, and then because
bullish.
then it gives big money confidence that if they get hacked, they're probably going to get their money back or something. Yeah. So it's a rite of passage in this new centralized world of digitalized cryptographic currencies.
Cryptography. Yeah. Stewie.
What other strong alts are you guys looking at? I mean, I know like Purr is just kicking ass right now. I think cat coins in general, my cup of tea, are actually looking quite strong.
Oh my god.
Purr is one of the more interesting ones to me. I do have a little position in it, nothing crazy. I bought it at like 15 cents. I'm just riding it. I'm really interested in Purr because of we talked about this the other day, the Purr hype pair chart. It's one of the more interesting pair charts in crypto for me right now, given how strong hype is. I don't think it gets much better than that. I would do Purr on the crypto chart there, Tucker. Purr 2. Yeah. And then maybe KuCoin.
Boom.
So throw it in log mode for me. Throw the loggles on. Draw a trend line from the all-time high kind of down into there. Yes, sir. Exactly. So this is one of the more interesting setups for me right now in crypto. Again, I haven't sized in crazy, but it's a cheap meme relative to where I think it can go. You could use that, Tucker, but you'd have to put on a volume chart, and Purr has terrible TradingView plugins right now.
Yeah, that's
but
Fine.
basically hype is so strong. It's been a leader. It's probably going to continue to be a leader. So if you want exposure to hype and you look at this per hype pair chart, it's like if hype goes up and this pair chart's breaking higher, what are the implications for per USD? That's what we're seeing priced in right now, is this pair chart breaking higher while hype is showing strength. So it's one of the more interesting setups to me personally. Again, I haven't put in size that aligns with my conviction on it, but I am really pleased with how the trade has gone so far. And I'm expecting continued upside here. You know, certainly if Bitcoin can stick the landing, I know we have a little pool going in the chats for every time I say stick the landing, but if Bitcoin can really, you know, rally out of this little micro gully that it's in, I don't really see why hype or per stop, and this pair chart should probably keep moving with gusto.
Hype's a monster. And I think, as I've said before, one of the things it benefits from is that it doesn't really have the same market-wide correlation to these dips as other assets, because you just can't really trade it anywhere other than hype. And the spot market really is like the dominating force of that market, right? You don't really have to worry about perps getting liquidated to the same degree, because you can only trade hyperliquid on 5x leverage on hyperliquid. I'm sure that will change, you know, obviously as it goes higher, but yeah, I mean, you can't discount the strength that it's consistently shown through these dips. I think you kind of need more systemic leverage before you see like a real pullback.
Yeah,
probably.
And Purr is just kind of like the easiest way of expressing a beta, because there's just not that many coins. I think the coins that are not Purr on Hyperliquid are just like very, not to say that if you hold them that your bags are bad, but I just don't really think there's any stickiness. I was thinking about this concept yesterday. Let me know what you think, guys. But I feel like 9 times out of 10, I can tell whether or not an asset is going to pump or not based on a ticker. Like just looking at the ticker,
based on
if it resonates, if it's
Are you
catchy,
talking like the name of the ticker?
Just the ticker, right? Like you read it on Tradingview.
Yeah.
I feel like 9 times out of 10, you can tell by the ticker whether or not the coin is going to be successful or not.
I think there's some truth to that for sure, especially when you have something that really stands out like Purr, where it's really clever, right? Hyperliquid, hyper liquid, Purr, cat meme, like it really does stand out. But there's also some instances that I can think of personally, like when I first heard of fart coin, I was like, no chance. You know, I was like, this is ridiculous. And then obviously when I saw what was happening, I changed my tone pretty quickly, like maybe 90 days ago. But I would say sometimes I would say yes. Sometimes you just see a ticker and you know right away because it stands out, like a Purr maybe, or like a Pepe for me. But there's also times where like there's some real garbage out there that pumps for no reason. You know what I mean? You're like, it's a shitty ticker. It doesn't make any sense. Not going to stand the test of time, but it's, you know, a cabal push kind of thing.
Yeah. Goat,
I
would
get what
say,
you're
was
saying.
one that I faded.
What was?
I didn't like. I would say Goat was one that I faded because I didn't like the ticker, but usually I feel like I can tell by just the ticker whether or not something is gonna have that staying power it needs.
Yeah, I would agree with that generally. I would definitely agree. Yeah, it's nuanced, you know, but yeah.
Is that all-time highs? Not quite.
Dude, once
Not
you flipped that 28 level, we were talking about this on Market Check, I don't know, like a week ago.
Yeah.
There's nothing but thin air above 28, man. Like I don't see any nothing to be bearish about right now above 28 on hype. Like I can't get there personally. It's
I mean, was that like a KuCoin wick, or is that not
Yeah,
real?
I think that's just KuCoin like.
Yeah, you might need to check out like hype on actually Hyperliquid to get the real chart, but
I'm just gonna ignore that.
You can use the Pith chart, the Mike Tyson exchange.
The Pith chart.
Oh, you had it.
Yeah, there we go. Mine logs.
yeah. What did you say? The Mike Tyson exchange?
I was waiting for somebody to pick up on it.
I got it.
That was a thinker. I was like, what is he talking about? That's pretty funny. There's a lot of really bullish fractals that I've overlaid on hype. Some like, you know, DeFi summer last cycle type of fractals. This thing could just start launching if Bitcoin sticks the landing.
Of course.
The best one I found is Near, ironically.
Can you show
Near
me
fractal on hype?
I'll show you after the show.
Tommy.
It's proprietary.
Show us right now, Tommy. I'm
Summer
sure
2021. It doesn't even have it on that chart. It's near off the 2021 summer low. Just really that bottoming structure.
Yeah, I totally see that.
This. Boom.
Yeah. We're loading that huge gap up candle probably.
Yep. Jeez. Could be bottomed here though. Good old Near.
I'm not touching Near, man.
Full port Near.
They will not roll another Near trade. No chance.
No.
It kind of looks like Whiff though, doesn't it?
I want to look at this trend line that someone suggested that we look at. Tommy and Haggard talking about ETH. Draw a trend line from the drop to 2,300 to now. Let's see if we can figure out what that is.
The drop from 2,300. What do you say? Drop from 2,300 to now.
Would that just mean a trend line at 2,300? Would it be in the go back to the range, the giant range low right over there, like those lows, 2,300?
On like the 30-minute or 45-minute trend. How about the 35? How about that? See, you understand. You talking about this? He's probably talking about this. Yeah, he's talking about this for sure. I mean, either here.
Yeah, I like that. Cover that. Cover that.
Yeah, what about that, Max?
But then what about the one that went below it? You know, it's like,
yeah.
Which one do you do?
Which one do you do?
One's bullish, one's bearish. I mean, let's just reclaim it. Then we don't have to debate it. But
I think both are probably valid. I think you could do this. You definitely got rejected off of this one, though.
So I saw online that Tradingview dropped some new tickers for like total. Should we take a look at those?
Some new tickers? Yeah, what are they?
Total 2ES.
What?
Total 2ES, not TOTA.
Total. What is that? Excluding Bitcoin.
So it's total market cap of the top 125, excluding Bitcoin and stable coins.
Dude, Tradingview is just killing it.
And there's a few more as well.
Yeah. Okay, wait. Okay, so let's do this first. Excluding Bitcoin and stable. So we got ETH, Sol, everything else. So this is others.
Basically. So it's the top 125 tickers by market cap.
Why is it
except
only
Bitcoin,
125?
and then it gets rid of stable coins. So
Why
it's
is it
kind of
only-
like, you know, it's kind of like Total 2, basically.
Yeah. Well, does Total 2 have stables?
Pretty sure it does. Yeah.
Yeah, it does. So we don't want that. Yeah. So it's
So
Total
it's just
2
a more
because-
clean version of Total 2.
Yeah. I don't love that. Does it have volume? That would be nice. Let's see. Yeah, big spot. Okay, big spot. You're kind of at your mid range too. It reminds me of Bitcoin before it broke out of its compression, and it obviously broke out bullish. But think of that like a Monday range. If I even get rid of this, you know, probably wouldn't locally fade the move out of this. That would be my first thought. Even there, you're kind of at a mid range too, though.
You want to look at another one?
Yeah, send me another one.
So then there's Total 3 ES. So it's basically the same thing. It's total market cap of the top 25, but excluding Bitcoin, ETH, and stables.
Ooh. Wait, which one of these? Just ES?
Yeah, I don't know what the other one is. We could. Oh,
There's
yeah.
another one too.
So this is basically a better version of Total 3.
Let me zoom out a little bit. I mean, I don't know. At least on like the daily, this to me feels pretty similar.
It's like a more steep version
Yeah, it's just a steeper version of this.
with a steeper recovery too.
Yes, indeed.
All right, I got another one for you. Ready?
Mhm,
This one's exotic. Ready?
mhm.
Total E50.
50.
Now this is the total market cap of the top 51 to 125. So this is the total market cap excluding the top 50.
Okay. Wait, why is it only going to 125? Is that what it always does?
Total is the top 125.
Okay, yeah.
So this is, yeah, so this is your shit coins, man. This is, well, it's not true shit coins, but it's like everything outside of the top 50 by market cap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which is interesting because we've never had anything like this before.
No, we haven't. I mean, it looks like what? It looks like ETH actually probably held up better than ETH. But it does look like ETH. Yeah, I'd say, you know, this little block plus like origin of the move is really all you got to flip. Right. Jack has talks about it all the time. The origin of the move needs to get retraced. So maybe like 80, 89, 90 bill would be kind of a pivot point, but
I got one more for you.
Hmm.
Total E100.
Total E.
Sound like the tickers that get spammed
Yeah, it does.
in our StreamYard.
So this is truly your poop coins. This is total market cap outside of the top 100 largest cryptos.
So this is just 101 to 125.
Yes, sir.
Oh. They all look somewhat similar.
Let's get a log view on this, Tucker. We might
Yeah.
need log for this
Log.
one.
How far does this even give me data for? This goes back to 2016. Wow. Just a lot more of them now. Well, I guess they've just grown. All right.
Kind of looks like summer leading into the bull market there. Kind of similar chop.
Yeah.
Like we just had our COVID drop right
I
below
know,
that wick.
I was gonna say like here, 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 here.
Yes, sir.
And you're like here, maybe. I mean, it's not gonna be perfect, but it does.
But interesting that we have these like aggregated views now.
Yeah, like the sweep there, the sweep here.
Send
Yeah.
it.
Send it. I mean, it looks good. This did take a while though. I mean, that took 300 days. That took a year, right? From where we tentatively would say we are, even to like the May. Oh, that is May. Okay. May 21. But yeah. Hmm. That's interesting. I'm glad they added some more tickers. They have them all in dominance too. Like this is the .d for it. For outside of the top 100.
Yeah, and there's then there's also total 3 ES BTC, which is the ratio of the total market cap excluding Bitcoin, ETH, and stable coins to Bitcoin. So like you have these cool like dominance charts, whether it's like they're basically like alt season versus Bitcoin season charts, you know, which we've looked at, we've made them manually before, but now you can have them, you know, a little easier to access.
Yeah, so let's see. Excluding Bitcoin, ETH, and stable is 2 Bitcoin. Okay. I mean, I gotta zoom out even more. We can log, yeah. Say it looks more similar to maybe just not as steep.
Did you look at total EE100D yet?
EE?
Total E100D. Okay, because this is an interesting chart. Draw a trend line across those lows. This is crypto market cap dominance, excluding the top 100. So this is like your shitcoin dominance chart. It's another one. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah. I can't really do that one, but I wonder, do these have volume?
I don't know.
Ooh.
Go to the lower time frame on it. I wonder where it's getting the volume from though, because this is a weird.
I know. I have no idea.
I don't know where it's pulling volume from. That would be a big question on it.
That is a good question.
I don't even know where they would be pulling.
Probably just like coin market cap. Honestly. I would bet that's where it's from.
I know, but the dominance charts, that's what I don't. So is it like divided volume? You know what I mean? So is it like taking the total market cap of the stuff outside the top 100 and then dividing it by Bitcoin volume? Like that's kind of weird. I don't know.
Let's see. Yeah, weird how these are getting volume because there's like no signal in this, you know.
I don't know if I would trust the volume on it because I feel like it's like divided volume or something. But
Yeah.
I mean, maybe. But I am very interested in looking at like the, you know, total E100D chart. Like that's very interesting to me.
Total E100D. Yeah, I mean, you just need this thing to turn around. Like, what was this, 2017? Yeah, you can't. I guess it's at a decent little spot. Yeah, it's at a decent spot, actually.
Interesting level.
Mm-hmm.
But see, then the thing about this chart is think about how much the top 125 by market cap shift, not the top 50 necessarily, but like 50 to 125 by market cap.
Mm-hmm.
Like every cycle, it's going to reset. You know, there's always like the new think about how many like new coins there are in the top, you know, 150 to 100 this cycle that weren't there last cycle. You know what I mean? So it's not going to give you a great like high time frame multi-cycle view, but it would give you a good like, you know, relative gauge on like, is a good time to buy new altcoins versus Bitcoin, perhaps. But I wouldn't look at this on like a cyclical perspective, just because it's gonna get rotated in and out so much.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How do you even calculate that?
I don't.
Like if it's rotating that much.
You have to be a super nerd. I don't know. I'm not smart enough for that. Guys, I just got news confirmation that it's now a bear market.
Oh,
Headline
man.
just dropped. Yeah.
New York Times or?
Yeah, it's not that bad. It's only going to be about 3.5 years. So, yeah, it'd be
We've done
about
it
3.5 years. So I would say maybe just try to come back in like late 2027 and start scooping up some assets again because it's over. And, you know, here's the thing is like, if you were to look at Bitcoin, Tucker, maybe just pull it up real quick. You know, as you can see very clearly, you know, we did rally, in fact, about 30,000 points off of the low in April. But as you can see, the bears were right because of today's candle. So it's just a quick reminder that even if you missed the 30,000 point ripper off the low, this candle means that you were right. That's a headline right now. It's official. Roll the tape, you know.
108K BTC, pack it up.
All you have to do is just FUD the ripper off the low, miss the entire rally, be sidelined and coping, and then on the first daily pullback, claim victory, you know, and then all is forgiven. It's really quite simple. So I would probably pack it up till about late 2027. I would come back, try to buy some assets. You know, I would say that this is probably most similar to the Great Depression. And this daily candle is confirmation of that. So, yes, exactly. See, Josh has been studying. Okay, Josh has been studying. Josh knows what he's talking about. Exactly, Josh. Thank you for that insight. You took the words right out of my mouth. So, this is it. But it's been a pleasure getting to know you guys before the Great Depression begins. So
Yeah, gold 10,000.
oh, higher. Yeah, gold to like 100,000 an ounce. Silver probably 500.
Gold is pretty insane right now. It's
Gold is
kind of having
insane,
its
yeah.
blow off top moment, I think.
I think it's already topped.
It's gonna be funny when we just rip face like very soon here, and then everybody, you know, that's just like being a soy jack today. It just gets their face ripped off again.
Yeah, I think gold's already topped. This is probably another local top for gold today.
Can we go lower time frame than that, Tucker?
For gold?
Yeah. I want to just see how toppy it looks if Tommy thinks the top is in.
I think we see like 2,800 within the next few months.
I mean, maybe you get a little. I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like it's like Bitcoin dominance, dude. Not like the structure looks the same, just that
The idea of it.
the idea that
Yeah.
it's just a
It's like every
check.
time gold goes up, our altcoins die.
Yes, dude. Oh my gosh.
It's crazy that we're in the Great Depression right now, bro. It just like happened so quickly. Like yesterday, I was so convinced of like 200K Bitcoin and like all this confluence. And now today, it's like Great Depression. And it's like, how did that happen so quickly? You know what I mean? Like with absolute confirmation, like, you know, like no chance of it coming back. It's like, bro, like the emotional roller coaster of being like in a melt up rally to a Great Depression in one trading session is I've never seen anything like it, dude. I can't handle it anymore, you know. I can't handle it. How are you guys gonna handle the Great Depression? Like I know a guy that works at the community center. Like if you guys need a job at the soup kitchen, like I could probably plug you guys with that before all the applications come in. You know what I mean? And I would do that for you guys because you're my friends.
It's all right, Max. We've got a bunker somewhere.
Oh, you're gonna hit the bunker. Okay.
It'll be bunker season.
All right. Well, just let me know about the Tucker. You need to get back to me about the golf lessons again.
Oh,
So
that's right. Yeah.
if you want, I'm not gonna extend that offer forever. Like since we're entering the Great Depression, after today's daily candle on Bitcoin, I'll just say like your coupon offer of buy 10 get one free is not gonna last forever. Similar to the if you want first dibs at the soup kitchen line for the new Great Depression, you need to let me know sooner rather than later because I have plenty of people that would want that job. So
It's a good job.
well, you know, I mean, you get free soup, which
Yeah.
would be important. I can't promise much more. There's no benefits, you know. The benefit is you get a little bit of soup, but
Ketchup sandwiches, as Will says.
Ketchup sandwich.
that's too gourmet for what we're entering, brother.
It's far too gourmet.
That's far too gourmet. Japan's gonna liquidate itself again for real this time.
Dude.
That'll probably happen later this year, but
There he is. There's Tommy. I knew he was coming out when I said that.
Later this year.
Whenever there's a chance to FUD a country and also FUD ETH, Tommy's always game. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
it will
And Janet
happen later
Yellen.
this year. I'm just saying.
I don't care. Just send Bitcoin to 200K first. Once Bitcoin goes to 200K, my altcoins rip. You can send everything to the gulag for all I care, man. Yellen to prison, Japan to zero, Europe to zero. I don't care.
Japan.
Pump the market first, though. Then you can have your fun. Then you can buy your SPX 300 puts for end of 2026 and have fun.
I think you just short NVIDIA, honestly. That'll be the best way to do it.
Yeah.
Probably.
I mean, just look at the 3-month chart, man.
Yeah, I mean, that's It's Great Depression, bro. I mean, it's just if you just flip it and then invert your candle colors, you would see what I'm talking about. Can you just double click your candle colors for me?
You want me to do the candle colors?
Yeah, yeah. If you just flip them real quick.
Is that all I need? Yeah.
Yeah. So see, as you can see, we're in the Great Depression right now, guys.
Are you guys trying to draw a fractal for oil?
Oh, Tommy. The oil FUD war.
He's back.
He hates oil.
Tommy rents his bullishness.
Imagine having beef with a I don't even, what would you call oil? Like a natural resource.
Commodity. A natural resource.
And like the one commodity that keeps the entire world moving, you know, like fuels our economy, literally. I've got
beef with the oil chart. How about that?
You know, there's actually a lot of people that do have beef with oil. You know, those people that like throw orange paint on like historic monuments. Very freakish, by the way. And they like block traffic. They genuinely have beef with a commodity. And meanwhile, the irony of it is those people would be without like heat. They'd be without transportation. They'd be without any sort of job without oil at this point. But then they still go like destroy like a priceless piece of art in a museum. I'm like, do you not understand what's happening here?
No, they don't.
They wouldn't get it.
They wouldn't get it.
Can we go ultra low time frame on Bitcoin here quick, like 15-minute or something?
It's a good buyback.
Low is in.
You see James Wynn is adding.
No. Oh no.
That's not bearish.
Oh, because you think he's the insider funded cabal or something.
Yes.
So you think they know something.
Yes.
All right. Well then, dude, whatever needs to be done, send it. I don't care.
Yeah, I'm watching his dashboard. This is like millions of dollars a minute swings. I can't even imagine. If I were a real person, I don't think he's necessarily like a real person or a real entity that's retail or whatever, but seeing those sort of P&L swings would make you sick in the head.
Dude, I can't even imagine. I mean, he's up or down like 20 million a day, it seems like, on these little micro swings.
Are we gonna break out of this, Tommy?
I think we go higher.
Yeah.
It's like I was saying earlier on the show. It's like there are a lot of altcoins at their structural equivalent of where Bitcoin was at 94K. And Bitcoin, I remember talking about it on Market Check. I even kind of faded the call myself for a little bit, but like if we go to 94K, it's the most obvious bearish retest sweep to be looking for, and they're baiting people, and that's exactly what happened. And now altcoins, I think, are more or less like doing the same thing. And after that was done, I mean, Bitcoin repriced to the highs. Are altcoins about to do the same? I don't know. I think context is pretty similar, though.
A lot of Sol shitcoins look kind of perky here, bro. I'm just going through my list.
Yes, they do.
Like they look like they're just doing the fart coin grind up, and they're about to just put in like the breakaway if Bitcoin can move up just a little bit here.
Wonder what that means for Sol.
Because Sol looked bad this morning.
Today.
I think Sol's at an awkward spot, but it didn't look bad this morning. Yeah, that doesn't look bad to me, man. I mean, it really just looks like it's waiting for Bitcoin to go to 115. If Bitcoin goes to 115, Sol's probably going back up to like 220 quickly.
This is teleportation right here. I think if you get back above like 185, I think you're going to like 250. Honestly,
I could see it. I mean, it's at a weird spot, but
you guys want to know a chart that I think is about to teleport? This Popcat.
Really? Yeah. Okay. That's on my Sol shitcoin watch list. That it looks like it's doing the fart coin stair step kind of thing. I don't know if I'd ever own any Popcat, but for like a trade, it looks like early fart coin to me, kind of.
I think it's going to reprice to the highs soon. I don't think it's going to fart coin stair step.
Oh, you
But
think it's gonna?
I see what you mean.
Yeah, it just looks like Fartcoin 2 months ago or something to me. But
Yeah, where it just does this and then this and then this.
I mean, if Sol rips from here, yeah, for sure, bro. I see.
Like, I think Fartcoin's probably about to reprice pretty close to all-time high too.
I could see it for sure. Flip this chart for me, Tucker. Flip it upside down and throw it in log mode.
Flip it and
if you'd be such a gentleman.
Log flip.
Draw me a little trend line there, Tucker, if you'd be so kind.
Here.
You know what I'm talking about. You know what trend line I'm talking about.
I'm gonna I'm gonna assume what you would.
I mean, that's it's a concerning picture there.
It's absolutely over. Better come retest the lows. Oh wait.
One more sweep of the lows. Oh wait, I meant the highs.
Yeah.
Do we have a volume profile on this bad boy?
This is on Sol, so we should. Or on
Ooh.
Oh, we're getting some yellow though. That's
no, that's the perfect entry. Go to like the 12 or 6 hour and then zoom in on it. The yellow is one of two things. The yellow is either shift of trend or perfect entry. Just look at when you gave you a couple short entries on the way down there.
Yeah.
I could see this back at $2 like very soon, honestly.
Back at $2. Oh, at 2 billion. Yeah.
I would not fade that setup there.
They told me to believe in something, so I bought cat coins.
Are you more bullish Popcat or Purr though, Tommy? If you had to choose, who's the alpha cat?
As far as like ROI off the bottom, probably Purr, but right now, Popcat.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. All right, guys. Well, that takes us to the end of the show. We didn't bug you about the like button, and we also didn't bug you about Terminal today. Guess you're welcome. Here's what we are going to do, though, is we are going to tell you about it on our way out, guys. Definitely consider checking out the link in the description below to bbterminal.com, guys. There's a couple different options here. One, if you're not ready to sign up and get the meat and potatoes, which is literally over 300 indicators, some Tradingview, some exclusive to BB Terminal, we do have a free option as well. You can do free portfolio tracking. We offer 62 chains. Best of its kind, guys. Top tier. All you do is literally copy paste your address right in, and it will basically pull up as many portfolios as you want. It will create pie charts for you. It will track everything very neatly, very efficiently, guys. So definitely check that out. You can also use our super chart function for free, which is stuff you guys are familiar with, right? You've got open interest data, funding, some proprietary indicators that we built, all right there. Clean Tradingview UI on bbterminal.com, 100% for free. You just put in your email to make an account. But if you want the meat and potatoes, guys, which is literally 300 plus indicators, on-chain indicators, we got 22 brand new custom proprietary Tradingview scripts, some of which we use here live on the show, guys. You can get all of those for $97, guys. Check that out. Actually, we'll drop the coupon code if you guys want to use it. I mean, why not? It's a Friday. If you want to use this, guys, if you want to try out BB Terminal for half off of your first month, which is $1.60 per day for your first month, 300 plus indicators, check it out, guys. Terminal 50 right there at the bottom at checkout for half off your first month. It really is. It is a best in class product. And I don't say that lightly. I think you guys have gotten to know me long enough. I wouldn't release something. I wouldn't give it the all clear. I wouldn't talk about it as much as I do if it wasn't world-class, best of its kind. We spent a lot of time and money building this thing, and we want you guys to use it. So check it out, guys. Terminal 50. It will change how you approach markets. It will basically syndicate all the existing tools that you guys use, all in one super website, guys, bbterminal.com. It's absolutely fantastic. I use it every single day, and I know the rest of the guys in the team do too. And it's tremendous value, right? So help keep the lights on at BB, and also Take your trading to the next level, guys. Take your investing to the next level. Give yourself all of the tools necessary in one spot. Okay. And we also offer a bunch of custom proprietary indicators that you can't get anywhere else. Okay. So BB Terminal at checkout, or I'm sorry, bbterminal.com, Terminal 50 at checkout for half off of your first month, guys. Give it a try. We're going to roll a little commercial, then we're going to end the show. Remember, code Terminal 50 for half off of your first month. Give it a try. Thanks for being here. Another successful week of Market Check in the books, and we will see you guys Tuesday. Markets are closed Monday. We will see you guys Tuesday for another episode of Market Check. Everybody have a great weekend. Stay safe. Use your BB terminal and take care.
Tired of outdated trading tools, confused charts, dozens of tabs, endless stress? You're not alone. Introducing BB Terminal, your all-in-one command center for crypto trading. Track your portfolio, monitor the markets, stay ahead, all in one place. From chaos to clarity, from struggle to success. BB Terminal.